kind of said was talking about like almost as like a when you come out of like a big change, there's something different in like almost how you identify yourself, like your own identity,
Right,
or
right.
even like just like your own level of awareness, right?
Yeah. So the thing is, all change is a change in identity, right? It's, let's say you're like an alcoholic, right? You drink all the time. You have this identity, even if you don't like the identity, it's still your identity. You subconsciously know you're somebody who drinks every day, right? And so if you want to change that, you have to change who you think you are on a subconscious level, which means what would it take for you to get to this point where you now see yourself as someone who's not drinking every day, and this is the really challenging part of it. It helps if you can have some other identity you're going for, right? Something to fill that void, because it's so hard to be in this void of not, knowing who we are, not having this feeling, like a felt sense of who we are. If we think we're a certain person, right? If we think like, we grew up in school, maybe we're the smart kid, or maybe we were like the athletic kid, or whatever it was, that limits who we are. And, we get that gets fixed on who we are. That's like, oh, this is why I'm important. This is why I'm special. This is why people like me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we think without that identity, I don't know who I am, and I don't know if people will like me anymore. I don't know if people will accept me. I don't know if people will want to hang out with me or want to date me. So it's like we cling to our identity because that's how we get all of our social needs met, right? And that's how we get all of our validation. For example, like, somebody who's like really good looking, and then they get to this point where their looks start fading, and then it's panic, right? And then they're trying to keep their looks because they don't know who they are if they're not like a beautiful person, and they don't know if people will like them if they're not a beautiful person. It can be scary, but it's not. There's so many different ways, and there's been a lot of research and a lot of psychology around this midlife transition that we develop these things. It's important to have these things, these parts of our identity that are like supportive of us and make us feel better for who we are, make us feel accepted and a part of a group, a part of a social group. But then we get to this point in midlife where there's an opportunity and often a calling to find this deeper, more unique sense of self. And Carl Jung called it individuation, which is like a perfect word for it, because we're individuating, we're becoming our own individual self. We're individuating from society instead of being, this person in this social group. We're figuring out who we are, and it's scary because to make room for that, you have to let go of a certain security, of a certain level of comfort and connection to your normal kind of social groups, right? And and who you think you are, and what you think is important or special or meaningful about you. And if you don't have those things, it could be really, those things falling away could be really distressing to people, right? And this is, they call it an existential crisis, right? It's like, who am I? If I'm not that, then who am I? But it's an opportunity for a more authentic, more meaningful part to come about, that if you can go with it, if you can let those parts fall away and explore like who you really are, then there's an opportunity to feel a lot more alive, a lot, more fulfilled, and to just feel better about yourself in general. And it's that people, I think, when they resist that change, they often get caught in like a depression or an anxiety or both.
Mm-hmm.
That then it's like, and depression and anxiety may be part of the change regardless. But if you resist the change, if you resist the old part falling away, and you're not really kind of cultivating a new, more authentic self, then it's going to be really, you're just making it much harder, right? You're going to feel a lot more confused and stuck.